Hi, in the next 2 lessons we're looking at future tenses. So in this lesson we'll look at future simple tense, and in the lesson after we'll look at verb tenses for future plans. So let's get started with future simple tense, and we make future simple with will plus the verb. So for example, I will ask, we will tell him, and in the question form, will he come? Now, in this lesson, I want to talk about 3 main situations for will. The first situation in which we use will is for quick decisions. The example here is, did you call Alan? Response, I forgot, I something him now. Well, let's look for the verb first of all. And the verb we want is call in the future simple form. And the answer is, I'll call him now. The full version is, I will call him now, which is more formal. In normal conversation, we would simply say, I'll call. The most important thing to remember here is that when I say, I'll call him, I've made a quick decision. Example 2 for quick decisions. This suitcase is so heavy, I something you. Well, the verb we want is help, and so the answer here is I'll help you, or I will help you if you want. The third example is, don't worry, I something these. Answer is, okay then, I something lunch. Well, the verb we want, I suppose, could be buy, but we're in a bar and it's a slightly more informal expression that we want. So a better verb here would be get, in which case the full sentence is, don't worry, I'll get these. We could also say, I'll pay for these. And the responding sentence is, okay then, I'll get lunch. And again, we could say, I'll pay for lunch. Notice here that this is also a promise to do something later. We could also have, I'll do it tomorrow, or we'll go next year. So that's will used for quick decisions. The second main way in which we use will is for predictions. 3 more examples here. The first is, I'm sure you something the exam. Well, the verb here we want is pass, so I'm sure you'll pass the exam is the answer. Notice that, like all predictions, this is an opinion about the future. So to emphasize the opinion aspect, we're saying here, I'm sure. Other expressions would be, I think you'll pass, or I expect you'll pass the exam. All predictions for the future for will. Second example is, we something there around lunchtime. Well, she's predicting an arrival, so we could say we'll arrive there around lunchtime. More conversational is, we'll get there around lunchtime. Just like the last example, to emphasize the opinion aspect, she could say, I'm sure, or I expect we'll get there around lunchtime. And to add some uncertainty, she could also say, we'll probably get there around lunchtime. Probably is fine with will. And the third example for predictions with will is, they say something sunny tomorrow. Well, we're talking about the weather, and the verb we want is be. So they say it'll be sunny tomorrow. And again, to add some uncertainty, we could say they say it'll probably be sunny tomorrow. So that's will for predictions. The third way in which we use will is for requests. And the usual form is to say, will you plus the verb. So examples are, will you do me a favour? Another example would be, will you help me with my homework? And another example would be, will you play a song for us? So again, it's will you plus the verb, do, help, and play. If you want to be more polite, you could add please to the end of each sentence and replace will with would you, or even could you, to be even more polite. So, could you do me a favour, please, is very polite. So those are the three main uses of will, which are quick decisions, predictions, and requests. Let's now move into verb conjugations for will. And we're going to concentrate on the verb to live in the positive, question, and negative forms. Starting with the positive form, with to live, future simple, I, you, he, she, it, we, they will live. And as we've seen already, for conversational English, we would say I'll live, or you'll live, he'll live, and so on. In the question form now, something, I, you, we, he, she, it, we, they, something. The answer is, will I, you, he, live? This is the same in the formal or informal use. And finally, in the negative form, I, you, and so on, something. And the answer is, I will not live. And just like in the positive form, we can shorten this to I won't live. You, he, she, it, we, they won't live. So that's the end of the lesson on future simple. To revise, you can print out this PDF, which summarizes everything I've talked about in this lesson. You can see we have the main uses here, we have the conjugations here, and we have some example sentences at the bottom. Join me in part 3 for the practice exercises on future simple tense.